Back here at Tierney Field at U.S. Lacrosse headquarters in Sparks, Maryland, a suburb of Baltimore. Glenn Clark alongside Tatum Coffey, the former Penn State All-American. Our D1 All-Star Game is in the books. Now we continue our coverage of the IWLCA All-Star Games today on IWLCA TV with the D2 All-Star Game. By the way, just to close out our first broadcast, Steph Lazo was named MVP of the D1 All-Star Game, your former teammate at Penn State. So congratulations to Steph Lazo. Now, we move on to our D2 All-Star Game. Same format, North versus South. Let's take a look at our keys to today's game. And we'll begin with the North team, coached by Kathy Taylor from Lemoyne. And Tatum, one of the things she wanted to see was them work well in transition.
And that's what we saw in the last game as well, Glenn. Transition's going to be huge because they haven't worked well. They've worked too many times together, so that'll be huge. Plus
communication on offense, and as you mentioned, working together are keys to the game for the South team, which is coached by Kara Reber from Florida Southern. She had said that a few of the things that she wanted to see her team work on today, utilizing the chemistry, teammate sharing, or using teammate strengths, shutting down the attack. Let's see our players to watch for today's game. We'll begin with the North players to watch. Jacqueline Jahelka, the attacker from Adelphi, 57 goals this season. The other player to watch for the North team, CHALANE Morrison from the University of Indianapolis, 60 goals, first team All-GLIAC. For the South, we'll tell you about it a little bit later on. Kelly Dowd, the first player to watch for today's game. We'll tell you the rest a little bit later on because we're ready to go. Let's do it. Let's play some lacrosse.
Let's go. Let's see the D2 All-Star Lacrosse game.
There you go. We are underway of this Division II game, and the first possession will belong to the South in the white jerseys, moving from left to right on your internet dial, and a great feed in front. Low shot, and about 12 seconds is all it took to get on the board for the South as Alexandra Bruder scores.
And again, it's winning the draw, pushing the fast break, and scoring the goal. She had that awesome low shot. Placement's going to be huge in this game, like how it is in every game.
And let me correct myself. That was number 6, not number 5. That was Kendall Courage from Florida Southern, who scores that first goal of the game. 6 and the 5 look an awful lot alike, so I apologize for that. All right, in goal for the North, Lauren Ochs from Bentley College, a 10.43 career goals against average. She allows that first shot to go in, however. And in goal on the other side is Taylor Gillis from Florida Southern, 13-3 with 108 saves this season.
North with the ball right off the draw.
Trailing 1-0 quickly before anyone's even had a chance to get settled back down in their seats after the D1 game. Randy Kastner from Tiffin drives in as her path cut off. Continues to move the ball on this first possession for the North. Tatum, what do you want to see from these D2 teams after watching 60 minutes of Division I All-Star action?
I think the draw is going to dictate who wins the game, so the amount of draws won will show who's going to win. But I'm seeing a lot of possession and,
Ooh, what a shot.
That was a great lefty shot. I think that's number 18.
Somehow finding the top corner. You're right about that. It is Vicky Gravlin from Lemoyne who scores her first of the day to even it up at 1 apiece. And that caught me off guard because she was running away from the goal and just tosses it across her body, the top right corner, to score to even the game up at 1 apiece.
She had 2 defenders on her too. That was a great shot. I think what they did well was, again, they got it around once, they settled their offense, and then they attacked.
So back to the draw control. Just over 2 minutes gone by here in the first half. Reminder that we got a running clock working here in these All-Star games. And a draw control victory for the South team as they try to go to work. It's now a tied game. Ooh, good back check, trail check there. And that was the goal scorer, Gravlin, who came up with a check to knock it out, but the South team holds on to the ball off the ground ball. Feed in front will be intercepted. Just missed timing on that pass, and good interception there. I believe that's Melissa Delarocca from Mercy, the second team All-ECC performer who came up with the pick.
And Gravlin was in the Final Four for Lemoyne.
Right. Obviously, Adelphi ended up winning the national championship this year at the D2 level, as has so often been the case.
They've won very many, Glenn.
Yes.
They have won their 8th national championship this year.
Remarkable run for Adelphi. We got a couple of Adelphi players on the North roster. And like Jacqueline Jahelka, we mentioned, 3-time All-American, also a 3-time national champion in her career. As the South gets the ball back in this 1-1 game, ball right back on the turf, however, and picking it up was Kara Douglas from LIU Post to save possession for the North. From over along the far sideline, fed back into the middle of the field. Now to the near side, going to work Jakowski from Roberts Wesleyan. What a season for Jakowski. 83 goals, 35 assists, 118 points on the year. She led the country in goals, points, goals per game, and points per game. Shot, getting a piece of that, I believe, was Taylor Gillis. Ball back on the turf, coming towards the near side, race to the near sideline. It'll be picked up by Kendall Kurd. Sorry, that's Connor Bird from LIU Post who picks it up. So possession preserved for the North. In front. Now back to the arc, and that's where you find Gravelin, who scored the first goal. Probably the longest possession we've seen today, Tatum.
Yeah, it really has. We've seen a lot of rushing the ball, a lot of urgency, as I could say. But
feed in front, and Jahelka's there to deliver it. That's why she's a 3-time All-American. She makes it 2-1 North.
Jahelka really knows how to work the crease and how to be sneaky, which that is huge for an attacker to do.
And she was just waiting right there at the edge of the goal to catch that one and put it home and make it 2-1 in favor of the North here with 5 minutes gone by in the first half. But we saw a patient possession there for the North team, which is not, obviously I said it's the longest possession of the day. Well, we've only played 5 minutes in this game. I'm even including the D1 game earlier. We just haven't seen a lot of long possessions today. We've seen way more as soon as you get the opportunity to shoot the ball, just go ahead and pull the trigger.
There is urgency because maybe they haven't played with each other, so they're not used to each other. But, yeah, that was great to see, more confidence on offense holding possession.
Draw control victory this time for the South. And now they'll try to push it ahead as they look to even things up here. The early going of the first half. This is their second All-Star game of the day. Ooh, that one's just intercepted. Too easy of an interception for Lauren Ochs. Finished with the second most wins in school history with 31 during her career at Bentley. Whistle there. It'll stay with the North. And in transition, we'll try to push things. Be interesting to see if that'll be the story of the day, Tatum, if we're going to see more settled possessions from the D2 All-Stars than we saw from the D1 All-Stars, or if that was just the nature of that one particular opportunity.
Yeah, I think we are going to see also a lot of back and forth. That's just the way the game is. That's the way lacrosse goes.
Right.
But
it's not the fastest sport on 2 feet for nothing.
Yes, exactly. But we've been seeing what I've seen so far with this squad is a lot of great checks, a lot of composure, and a lot of confidence.
We remember that these are all-star defenders as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just all-star attackers and all-star midfielders. What a great fake. Shot low.
Quick save.
A good save made by Lauren Ochs. Ball stays with the South, trying to even things up. Lob back out to the top. Starting to her left now, driving inside, but
again a great
away.
check. That was by number 4, Mackenzie Barkley.
Mackenzie from Shippensburg, where she set a new school record with 265 career draw control victories during her 4 seasons. Battle for the ball. Boy, these are tough battles for these ground balls,
and again,
too. So many checks. Ball's been on the turf. This is a good defensive battle so far in the first 7.5 minutes of this one.
And it is, I guess, harder for defense to get noticed. They're not scoring the goals, but they say defense wins games.
That's right.
Along with their goalies.
So possession continues for the South. Driving in is Dowd. Ooh, back in front. A lot of contact, but I think that was friendly fire in front of the goal, as I think that was Ochs who actually barreled into Lauren Green, but barreled into Mackenzie Barkley, but the ball's going to belong to the North. Look how physical the play has been in the early going of this one, Tatum.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love the aggression. I definitely see out here that these players are realizing that it could be their last game.
Well, I think even more so true at the D2 level or the D3 level than it was even for the D1 game, where you did have some handful of players that already knew that they were going to go on to play professionally. I think at these levels, it's a bit less of that. Running shot that goes off the post. It's a good look on the run, but not able to deliver that one to the back of the net was Castley Jakowski.
But look at JAHLCA as an attacker redefending. That is huge, and that's not. We didn't really see that too much in the first game.
That's a great point. They're getting down there.
Going from end line to the 30 as an attacker and redefending.
Ochs trying to come out and help as a defender. Not able to come up with that one, so it stays with the South.
And again, the bleachers are packed, whether it's family members or friends trying to see their.
It's funny you said that because I sense there's also some family members and friends from the D1 game that have just decided to linger and hang out today.
Yeah, maybe watch some more lacrosse and enjoy the great weather. The sun is coming out, and it's a great day for some lacrosse.
What a perfect day to be here in Sparks in northern Baltimore County at the U.S. Lacrosse headquarters, a tremendous facility that's only a couple of years old.
And that will be North Ball. Again, a ferocious fight going on.
Barkley's been in the middle of everything today. Barkley reminding me of another Barkley, a sir, a knight. As Charles Barkley was always in the middle of everything during his basketball career, and Mackenzie Barkley's in the middle of everything here today in this D2 All-Star game.
I love the power buns by number 5, Alexandra Bruder.
Yeah.
The power buns are back. When they first started the cross, I was huge with the goggles and 2 buns on our head. It makes the game fun again.
Bruder from Queens University of Charlotte, all SAC first-team performer, and was also on the SAC All-Tournament team.
So I'm not necessarily, Glenn, seeing dropped passes as much as I was in the first game. I'm seeing a lot of checks.
Right.
So it's just a matter of protecting your stick, bringing it in front, and maintaining possession of the ball.
3 goals combined so far in this D2 All-Star game as we are beyond 10 minutes here in the first half. North on top 2-1. I'm Glenn Clark. She's former Penn State All-American Tatum Coffey. Happy to bring this one to you on IWLCA TV. Steve.
If you notice JAHLCA behind the net wearing gloves, sometimes it's hard to grip your stick, especially with this hot weather going on. So as an attacker, she needs to maintain possession and not lose the ball. So that's the purpose of her gloves.
Lobbed in front, JAHLCA nowhere to go. So she continues to move this offense. And again, we're seeing this sort of slowed down possession from the North that we talked about in the early goings. Turnaround shot wide of the cage. Stays with the North. Now driving is Hannah Lindgren from Bentley. Sends it to the other side of the field. Surveying. Nothing there. So lob back into the middle. Spinning. Nowhere to pull the trigger on a shot, and that's going to be knocked away again. And another check gets the ball out. However, this ground ball will stay with the North team. As getting in there to pick it up was CHALANE Morrison, but she lost it. And it heads back the way of the South.
Pushing the fast break. You could see that they are a man up, the white team right now. Coming in.
Take advantage of it, but a misfire on that pass. Ball back on the turf and still being fought for. Finally, it comes away into the stick of Caitlin Kimball from Coker College. She's no stranger to ground balls, 49 on the season, and that's another one of those. That's on the sports information director. You got to go in there and find another ground ball somewhere that you can get her to
get
her 50.
The 50, exactly.
Right? You got to go back and look at that tape one more time and say, you know what, maybe we should give her credit for that one.
And I see that they need to definitely, what they're doing right now, the North team spreading out a little bit more, and that's not in the 8 or in the 12. It's past the 12 to really use advantage of this big field.
Lindgren pushes it back behind. Is the North content to slow things down, leading 2-1. Ball in the stick of Hannah Lindgren. She's trying to get inside. She pulls the trigger on a bounce shot and scores. Hannah Lindgren with her first of the day to make it 3-1. North on top with 17 minutes to play in the first.
Lindgren saw that opening. She took advantage of it and, again, protected her stick. I think that's going to be huge with protecting your stick, especially when you're in the 8-meter, and finish strong low. That's what we saw in the first game, and the low shots are going to be huge in this game as well.
Tatum, the other thing that jumps out at me a little bit is I keep referencing this patient offensive approach. Mm-hmm. And there appeared to be a little bit more of a clear out there to allow someone to go to work. Let's spread it out so that someone has more space in order to try to make an individual move.
I definitely am seeing a lot of teamwork in this game and a lot of hard work, whether it's going after ground balls and just putting up a fight. And this is a very entertaining game right now.
Draw control victory for the North. CHALANE brought it up. Now they go to work on the attack. Connor Bird from LIU Post, a first-team All-American this season. Now working from about 12 meters out, trying to turn the corner, and a shot fired across the mouth of the goal.
Again, maybe taking that shot, rolling back more into the 8 to get a better angle on that shot.
Approaching the midway point of the first half. It's a 3-1 game, the North on top here in this Division II IWLCA All-Star game.
About 15 minutes to go in the first half.
Yeah,
running clock.
Second of our, a great feed in front, but CHALANE couldn't come up with it, and that allows Taylor Gillis to pick it up for the South and try to get something going the other way. Pushing the issue right now, lobbing it forward, but unable to come up with that pass was Jalen Schulte from Limestone. Ball back on the turf, and the North gets it back.
And what's interesting, Glenn, that you see, especially for the South team, you see 4 players from Lindenwood University. You got 3 from Limestone, 4 from East Stroudsburg University. So a lot of, they're familiar. They're not new faces here.
Sure, they've got an opportunity to play with your teammates here today. As you're right, most of these schools in this D2 game have sent at least 2 players. There's only a couple of singles. I'm trying to Florida Tech, Allie Maudica is the only Florida Tech player here today. Westchester sent Dina Cifelli. And other than that, on the South team, those are the only singles. On the North team, Grand Valley State's Kira Dusenberry.
And if you notice, you said Taylor Gillis is in goal.
Yeah.
She doesn't really have shin guards on, and I love that. I feel like some goalies are picky. They want to move more freely and have less on. I see some goalies wearing sweatpants, trying to catch the ball that might sneak by their foot. It's very interesting to see each goalie's style.
Now the other way, the South trying to get back into this one, trailing 3-1. 14 minutes to play in the first half. Driving in right on the doorstep and delivering. Make it a 3-2 game as Carly Davis from Limestone scores. Davis, 58 goals on the season. We'll watch this one more time. She got the ball in a good spot, drove to her right, got right to the doorstep, and delivered Carly Davis.
And again, protecting the ball when it's in her stick, not letting her stick hang and making herself vulnerable to that check.
And she's getting the opportunity to come back and play close to home. She's an Eldersburg, Maryland native, so she gets the opportunity. Sure, she's got friends and family here today supporting her. What a career she had at Limestone, including this season, 58 goals and 49 assists. Another 100-point performer, 107 for Carly Davis. 3-2 game in transition. Ooh, feed in front, but just off the stick. That'll go out. I'm going to say that went off of Ochs.
Yeah, it did. And that was a great draw, starting with Kelly Dowd for the South
team.
Oh,
and Ochs races back to make that shot more difficult, and it goes off the post. Great job by Ochs of getting back into position. She didn't make the save there, but she forced the shot to be a little bit tougher, and it goes off the post.
South team with the ball right now, Glenn, and they are down by 1. So I think, they have time, about 12 minutes to go, so they need to spread out and really take advantage.
Trying to lob it into the middle. That one's knocked down. Ball back on the turf. It's going to come away to the North. Getting in there to pick up that ground ball was Kendall Seatek from New Haven. All-American this season. 61 goals and 20 assists. And we also know that there's going to be players playing out of position today. Like you got to be willing to adapt, because they didn't send like a certain number of midfielders and they sent the players they could send.
Exactly.
And so some of these players are going to be asked to do some different things.
So this will be CHALANE Morrison's ball. So I thought this was interesting, Glenn. She's from Delta, British Columbia. You don't see that too much. You see a lot of New Jersey, Maryland girls, New York, Long Island, but British Columbia, that's awesome. That lacrosse is.
Now you're going to tell me a little bit more. I know in the men's game that the Canadian shooters, the ones
huge.
that they
and there are some Canadians out here today.
Right.
And we'll talk about that later.
They shoot these impossible angle shots because they're used to playing box lacrosse where they have less space in order to get shots off. What's the difference on the women's side for American versus Canadian types of players?
So not too much. You definitely see Canadian players are more, they have a lot of advanced stick skills and are more tricky, but still shooting outside wide and weird angles. We don't have the pocket to do that.
Right.
So they're going to be smart with their shots regardless, American or Canadian.
Possession continues to the north, shot wide, but it stays. Now feed in front, turning around, not able to get that off her stick. Another great check. The ball comes out. Ground ball picked up. In transition goes the south. A great ground ball for Kelly Dowd.
We're seeing a lot of great checks like we talked about before, a lot of great defensive plays.
Another check. This time, however, a whistle as Kara Douglas is trying to get that out of the stick of Dowd here along the near sideline, but Dowd will get it back. Dowd, during her career, finished with a school record 210 draw control victories. Now wrapping up her career here today with the IWLCA All-Star Game. Back to the middle of the field, Dowd surveys.
So I love this right here. They're really relaxing just a little bit, just giving everybody a break, and then, again, ready to attack. You've been playing for 20 minutes. The sun is shining bright, and you need a little bit of a break.
They slow things down, and we've seen that from both teams here in the first half. 10 minutes to play in the first half. It's a 3-2 game, the North on top. South the opportunity to even it up here. Sort of setting a foot down, turning, and then having that swiped out. As Kara Douglas playing the role of thief here in the first half. The defender from LIU Post, second-team All-American, comes away with another one there. Causing the turnover. The North gets it back. The opportunity now to set up on the attack themselves. So we had a change in college lacrosse, or in women's college lacrosse, of course, this year, Tatum, with the addition of the shot clock at the D1 level. What did you think about the impact that it had on the game as it comes to the other levels in the coming years? How much do you think it benefits the sport of lacrosse?
I think it's definitely going to make the game more interesting and faster. And I think it's going to really change up a lot of scores. And I'm jealous. I wish I had it when I was playing. Shot clock is huge. It'll change up practice. It'll change up game plans and everything. It's a really great asset to the game of women's lacrosse.
Free position opportunity coming here for Cassie Jakowski from Roberts Wesleyan, the third-team All-American. She steps in, shoots low, great save. Taylor Gillis not fooled by the low shots.
And I think that was a great attempt. What I love seeing on 8 meters is them, it's a free shot, rather running it in and a quick placement shot, but it was a great attempt.
8.5 to play here in half number one. One of the arguments that I've heard made about the shot clock is that it benefits more the power teams, the better teams, because there's a strategy that teams had used when they were facing the best teams. They wanted to try to slow things down and maybe junk the game up a little bit. Do you agree that it maybe benefits the best teams a little bit?
Well, what we saw a lot, say it's like Maryland or UNC in the finals and they're up by 2, they're going to hold on to the ball and just pass it around as long as they can, and it really got dragging on players and for fans.
Sure. It was tough to watch. I agree with that. Shot in close, score, down, ties it up, 3 apiece. Bouncer gets home, beating Lauren Ochs.
And what you can see, the players drop their sticks after every shot, not just because they're excited, but because the refs either can make the choice to stick check them or to not do that.
So we're even up 3 apiece with 7.5 to play here in the first half. Good competitive game, and competitive in all aspects, Tatum. It's some good offense, a lot of great defense. I mean, this has been
a great all-around game. This has
really
been very
well-competed
entertaining.
game.
The sun is shining. The stands are packed. It's a great day for some women's lacrosse.
Low-scoring game so far, but plenty of time to change that in this Division II All-Star game as Dowd scores to even things up at 3 apiece. defense.
And you're going to have a low-scoring game when, the defense is playing so well and the goalies are making great saves.
Draw control victory for the North. They had the 3-1 lead. The South has scored the last 2 goals to even things up. Driving in, shooting low, and that lead's going to disappear just as quickly. As the bounce shot gets home for Elizabeth Vetter.
Vicky, I think.
Oh, it's You're right.
Yeah, Vicky Gravlin from Moyne College.
That's her second of the day for Gravlin. I apologize. I went to the replay, and it looked like they were congratulating Vetter, so I thought I had it wrong. But you're right. It's Gravlin.
They're just patting everyone on the back.
Yeah, right. Everybody's happy.
Yeah,
they scored.
See, they're great team players, which I love watching that. I think, when talking to Kathy Taylor, the Moyne College coach earlier, and Vicky Gravlin is one of her players, she said she's looking forward to working with this group a lot, but more importantly, getting to know new faces that she's read about and that she's played against.
4-3 game now with Gravlin scoring there for the North to put them back on top. Gravlin was also a stat stuffer this season. 46 goals, 20 assists, 65 ground balls, 45 caused turnovers, 27 draw controls.
Wow.
Did a little bit of everything this season for Lemoyne.
And that's great to have a balance of goals, assists, draws, caused turnovers, ground balls. It's a great balance to have as a player.
And, of course, Lemoyne also one of the perennial powers in Division II women's lacrosse. Draw control victory for the South, trying to go in transition. Nothing there, so they'll work from behind. And Ochs again steps in. Ooh, has to cover that one back up as it was dangerously getting close to the goal line. But Ochs prevents it from trickling across.
Ochs is a very spunky goalie, and I love it. She comes out of the net. She plays a little bit of defense. She makes great clears, daring saves, and I like watching her play.
It's a fine line, obviously, for a goalie, Tatum. Those decisions that you have to make about when you're going to come out and play like you're a field player versus needing to hold your line.
It's a risk. It's a risky position, and it's a risk you got to take when you're playing goalie, and she's been very smart about it.
So far today, it has worked well.
We have under 5 minutes to go in the first half. It's 4 North, 3 for the South.
1 goal game. So North tries to add to that right now. A little bit of trouble. Back it back out towards the restraining line and slow down on this possession. Reminder, not only do we have the second half of this game coming up, but we also still have the D3 All-Star game here on IWLCA TV.
Great quick stick by number 7.
5th goal of the day is the first for Kara Douglas. Second-team All-American from LIU Post. Puts the North back on top by 2, 5-3, with 4 minutes to play in the first.
And a quick stick shot is a hard shot to get when you're a goalie. You're facing one side and you're getting a shot from another.
But the remarkable part about that one is that there's a defender all over her. Hannah Bertolo is literally just... I mean, that's a very difficult play to even get your stick on that.
Yeah, and it's at this level, Glenn, if that defensive player leaves a little bit of opening for her to catch the ball, she's going to catch it and she's going to score.
Bertolo this season set a new single-season record with 62 ground balls. It's a new school record at Indiana University, Pennsylvania. 5-3 game. North gets it back off the draw control victory, trying to add to it here in the late stages of the first half. Been an impressive half so far, and seems like things are clicking for the North right here as we go towards halftime. And this has been the story, is these possessions where they've plotted a little bit. They have not forced anything. They've surveyed before they went to work.
And I do think it comes back to them kind of being more familiar, with the multiple schools that we see on this list.
On the other side, Lindgren fires it to the far side of the field. Now trying to drive back the other way. Nothing there. So it'll come back to the near side and right back to the middle.
Again, I'm curious how the matchups work out.
Right.
It definitely comes back to communication.
C-Tech drew a little bit of attention. 2.5 to play. Ooh, getting that one right
Gillis
back.
intercepted it to begin with and then unfortunately lost it.
And a great interception on the run this time.
You can hear the crowd cheering for that one.
That's an awesome play in transition. I think that was Courage. Now going the other way, a lot of contact and a goal to boot.
And that all started with that interception, which is great from the defensive end, moving all the way to the other side of the goal.
Really, really tremendous effort on both sides of the field, and it's Courage who delivers it. Her second of the day.
You see the defender trailing her, one coming in, and she's still 3 on her. It's a 3-on-1, finishes upper right corner. Great shot by her.
And a great look off at the last second to her teammate in order to try to get the defender to bite.
Exactly. Team effort there, for sure.
Under 2 minutes to play. It's 5-4. South hanging in there. You know, we talked about the patient nature of the offense, but in the first game today, where we thought it was a frenetic pace,
it was definitely more urgency with them.
But there were 10 first-half goals in that game. There's 9 in this game. So there's, I guess the way I'm saying is there's many different ways to skin a cat.
Exactly.
Right? Like,
yeah.
Despite the fact that this game has been a little bit more settled, there's still been effective offense in this game.
And I'm seeing a good balance, too, of, you know, each team winning the draw. It's not predominantly one team, which is good, which gives each team an advantage to get some reps on offense.
And a draw control victory for the South. So with 1 minute to play in the half, they're going to have an opportunity to try to tie things up.
16 is a fast player.
Great move by Molly Beckham from Lindenwood.
She's definitely a speedy one.
She's got 75 career caused turnovers, the second most in Lindenwood history. And Ochs again making the play as if she was a field player, protecting that crease. Comes away with the interception.
So I think even you got about 35 seconds to go that, you know, the North team could get one more goal to give them that 2-lead advantage before the half ends.
Kara Douglas to the far side of the field. Now 22 seconds left. They're going to have to force the issue here. They want to try to get a shot off before the end of the half. Driving in all the way, getting space, and there you go.
That was the goal we were looking for.
The whole way for Hannah Lindgren. She did indeed force the issue. Her second of the day, and at the half, it's going to be 6-4, the North on top here at the Division II IWLCA All-Star Game. Glenn Clark alongside former Penn State All-American Tatum Coffey with you at Tierney Field. And Tatum, the story of this game, again, being that we've seen more settled offense from both of these teams, but yet still 10 goals scored in the first half.
Yeah, so I definitely think that they're being smart with the ball. They're working together. We keep talking about how they're from common colleges, so they're aware of each other. They're familiar, and I think it comes down to the draw. They need to win the draw to get the possession on offense in order to score. And
it seemed like offensively the North was clicking just a little bit more in the closing stage of the first half than the South was.
Yeah, definitely. You could see that they're up by 2, and they need to get that extra goal, which they did. I'm seeing a lot of hard work out here, and, that's great to see for this game.
Final game, right?
Yeah.
It'd be easy to just sort of mail it in and say, heck, college career's
over.
But
it's definitely, this game has been very enjoyable to watch.
Goal scorers in the first half for the North, 2 apiece for Hannah Lindgren and Vicky Gravlin, 1 each for Kara Douglas and Jacqueline Jahelka. And for the South, 2 goals for Kendall Courage, 1 apiece for Carly Davis and Kelly Dowd. It's 6 here at the half. The North is on top. We'll have the second half for you next. You're watching the IWLCA All-Star Game, the D2 game right now on IWLCA TV. Ready for half number 2 here at the Division II IWLCA All-Star Game from Tierney Field at U.S. Lacrosse headquarters. Glenn Clark alongside former Penn State All-American Tatum Coffey. Teams will now switch sides, and so we will see the North team in the blue going from left to right on your internet dial, and the white team, that of course being the South, going from left to right. The North is on top, 6-4 here at the break as we begin half number 2 in a quick, clean draw control. Ball plucked out of the air by Jakowski that time to give the North the possession. And a quick shot just high. It's backed up and stays with the North. Tatum, you expect the pace to pick up maybe a little bit here in the second half?
Yeah, I think a 2-goal difference, you're definitely going to see more urgency from the South team, but not to the extent where they lose their patience, Glenn. They've been very patient with the ball.
Turnaround shot.
CHALANE with the goal.
There you go to make it 7-4. Just 34 seconds gone by here in the second half. CHALANE's second of the day for the 3-time All-American and 3-time national champion at Adelphi. She adds to the advantage here.
She had 72 goals her senior year, 25 assists, 97 points total, and 19 ground balls for an attacker.
Another stat stuffer. Another stat stuffer, Jacqueline CHALANE.
From Garden City, and that's they're the.
Yeah, you're a Jersey girl, right?
I am. Yeah. So they're very well known with lacrosse, and recognizing her last name, her brother played lacrosse at, I want to say, Harvard.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So that's very interesting.
I didn't even do the math.
Yeah,
on that.
I know. Yeah. So
right.
I definitely see some.
There you go, 7-4. Largest lead of the day, by the way, for either team now. The North on top by 3 as they appear to be seizing control of this one, dating back to the late stage of the first half. Gravelin loses that one, but it stays with the North as Connor Bird is able to pluck it out of the air. So this possession continues. I did not check, but I assume it's new goalies.
Yes, from what it looks like.
It appears as though.
Bottom left corner
scoring
shot.
to make it 8-4. On the run, great effort, great finish for the third of the day for Gravelin. Lemoyne midfielder makes it 8-4. North now doubling up the South with these first 2 goals to start the second half. Caitlin Kimball, the new goalie for the North from Coker College, 49 ground ball. No, sorry, she's a defender, so I think it's still Lauren Ochs that's in goal. Let me check again. Yes, it is. It's still Lauren Ochs. Lauren Ochs. So only one goalie on the roster for the North team, so they couldn't switch goalies at the half. And then the goalie change for the South, it's Sydney Teeter from Limestone.
Great draw pickup.
And so the South will get the opportunity as momentum is clearly right now on the side of the North. South needs to try to do something about that right now, trailing 8-4. Sydney Teeter this season allowed 78 goals, a 6.86 goals against average, and made 50 saves for Limestone in her senior campaign. What does the South need to do in order to stem the tide here, Tatum?
So I think they had a great start with this rep right here, getting the draw, and now they just need to spread out, not force the ball, and really take advantage of their openings.
Possession continues, and this has been the story of this D2 All-Star game, has been patient opportunities. Trail check, knocks it out. It looked like that was going to be a shot. Ball stays with the South, however. Possession continues from back behind the goal. Not trying to get in front. Look at Ochs again coming out to defend like a field player as that ball is going to head back towards the restraining line. It doesn't get there.
I cannot wrap my head around the effort on these 50-50 plays,
right?
And on, the defensive, work that they're putting in. It looks amazing.
But also give those midfielders credit, because as that ball gets so close to the restraining line, it's so easy to try to be too aggressive and going to get that ball.
And getting that call
right.
against them, yeah.
And they both did a good
great
job of holding their ground there. It's possession now for the North, an opportunity to add to what is already an 8-4 advantage. All the way to the top. Starting to the left and having that one knocked out with C-Tech. She's able to track it back down. Now flips it to the near side. In front. No, had a good look, but it wasn't there.
Great catch by CHALANE. Even the pressure on her, she was able to maintain possession of the ball, swing it around.
Approaching 4.5 gone by here in the second half. It was a 5-4 game with about 10 seconds left. Ooh, a long shot, save made, first of the day for Sydney Teeter. It was a running shot that was taken by DeFusco, midfielder from Mercy College. 29 goals, 14 assists this season, 43 and 19 for her career. Now in transition, Morgan Judd from Lindenwood turns on the Jets, gets all the way inside.
Looking at this replay with this shot. A far shot. You're only a step within the 8. Good attempt. Great save by Teeter.
Yep, Teeter just held her ground there, and the ball found her stick. Feed in front, turn around. What a save by Ochs.
I'm telling you, I like the way Ochs plays. She's very aggressive. She's quick, and a great clear out to give the North an advantage.
She's really feeling it today as she stops that shot.
And that wasn't a push. She just maybe a trip up there for number 8, Melissa Delarocca.
Yeah, Delarocca, yeah, from Mercy.
So South will have the ball. They need to take advantage of this possession. Under 25 minutes to play. 8-4, South is down.
They need to get something going here. Morgan Judd ran around with it for a little while before letting it go back to the top. When you have a goalie playing the way that Ochs is playing, and that's going to be a whistle.
Ooh, that's a check.
Yeah, it's
especially when a player grabs their face, you know that something's not right.
I'm going to just do that for fun. Schulte will have it off the restart.
Very crowded in the 8-meter right now. They really need to spread out. They need to use all the space they can up to the
When there was a double team there,
line.
So you knew somebody was open, but they just couldn't figure out who it was and get the ball there. And they end up losing that one as the ground ball is picked up by Riley Weber from Adelphi.
Oh, I think, was that Melissa Delarocca, number 8?
Who got in there? Okay.
Yeah.
So the ball continues to go the other way for the North. Already with that 8-4 advantage.
It's hard to tell who's picking it up because they all are working together.
Right.
When the ball goes on the ground, they all go after it, which is great.
We haven't actually called Weber's name yet today, but she only happens to be the National Defensive Player of the Year.
No big deal.
That's all, right?
Yeah.
National Champion, National Defensive Player of the Year. That's okay. Decent little career that she had.
That's great.
And the first-team All-American for that Adelphi squad that again won the title. Won 3 during those 4 years. In front, that shot deflected as Vetter was unable to get it off her stick cleanly. The midfielder from Stonehill College, a 2-time All-Northeast 10 conference selection. Stays with the North. I wanted to ask you about Lauren Ochs. When the South has the ball, given the way she's playing, what do you do to try to figure out a way to beat her?
I guess it's those off-ball picks and throwing her off.
Okay.
And if she's going to go out and try to play as a defender, take advantage of that and swing the ball quick. That's huge.
That transition will be slowed down. As losing it briefly was Carly Davis, but she's able to get it back. She's got 3 blue jerseys all over her, but she finds Austin Brown from Florida Southern to try to help get her out of trouble. Brown with 18 ground balls, 15 caused turnovers this season for Florida Southern. Playing for her head coach, Kara Reber, one final time here today. And Reber's got both she and Taylor Gillis, who played in goal in the first half, as well as Kendall Courage.
So they were also, actually, I want to say it was them in the conference that just lost. In their conference. So that was a
very nice season for Florida Southern, but it ended up coming to a close quicker than they expected it to. It's going to go the other way as North gets it back. 21.5. Ooh, great ground ball there, but unable to fully pick it up now. Second opportunity, recollecting possession there was Engler from Lockhaven, the all-region selection this year, 57-goal scorer. So South still hasn't scored here in the second half.
We're about 10 minutes in.
Trailing 8-4, and Ochs with another save.
And I don't know if it's South needs to be less predictable with their feeds, more of adding that snake eye effect, but Ochs has been doing a great job of those interceptions.
Do you think there's an advantage, too, for Ochs? And, again, this is just the nature of who's on the roster, that she's the one goalie that's going to get to play the entire game. So she's not coming in cold. She's feeling a little bit, and she gets to continue that momentum.
I do think that has something to do with it, but I do also think she's a very, again, spunky and scrappy, and I don't mean scrappy negatively in a negative way. I think scrappy players are great, and I love that. And I think she's really making the most of her 60 minutes of play.
About 10 minutes gone by here in the first half.
Oh, we're in the second now.
Sorry, you're right. Jeez, thank
I know,
you,
time's
Tatum.
flying with this game.
Doing these 3 games, it's hard to keep track of everything that we're doing,
to watch. Right? It really is. This has really been a great game.
Second half, 10 minutes gone by, so 20 minutes to play, and ball will stay with the North as that ground ball comes out. Ooh, risky, going for the interception there, and luckily there was no path to goal. Lob to the other side, looking for the near post,
Great
but
save.
Protecting it very nicely is Teeter. There wasn't a lot of space to that near post, and so that might be – Tatum, you can tell me a little bit more about this. Sometimes you do that because you know the goalie's expecting you to go to the far post, so you're trying to catch them off guard, right?
I think it's more that she really didn't get a chance to get the best angle and was trying to get a quick shot off. So if she were to roll inside again and be more square with the net, she would have had a better shot attempt.
South gets it back, and as we've said for the entirety of the second half so far, they need to get something going, trailing 8-4. As it has been all North since the late stages of the first half. I referenced about 20 seconds to play in the first half. It was a 1-goal game, 5-4, but the North got the goal to close the half. They've added 2 more here in the second half to extend their lead to 8-4. We talked a good bit in the first game about tired legs, but some of that was because of the frenetic pace. Do you think that's a similar factor in Game 2? Do you think that maybe they should be a little bit more left in the legs because we've had longer possessions? Turnaround shot wide.
Oh, I love Ochs just goes and chases that, and it will be her possession. Now it's going back to be North ball. But going off of what you said, Glenn, I think they're being smart about their possession. They're tired. It's hot, and they're taking their time.
And obviously this is the latest that you've played into the season, clearly, because the season ends unless you're a senior a week ago.
And you're exhausted. You've had a long season, and you still want to make the most out of this game and work hard, and they've been definitely showing that.
Oh, the shooter on that last possession for the South was Benzing. Oh, great feed, but unable to connect on the pass. That would have been a great look right in front of the goal.
So what I'm seeing is a lot, and I just want to point out, a lot of knee braces going on, and, I just want to make a point that it is more common in women's lacrosse to tear your ACL, and it's great to see that these girls are still out here playing, and it didn't stop them from playing in this game.
Yeah, one more opportunity to play. So you have the whistle that time in front of the goal. That'll be a free position opportunity here from the middle of the field for Caitlin O'Brien from New Haven.
In her left hand, because she does have, now she's moving the hash,
yeah.
So we'll see. Still in her left hand. Definitely open on each side.
Chance to add to the 8-4 lead for the North. She pulls the trigger, delivers high, and scores.
What a powerful shot by
O'Brien.
Caitlin O'Brien out of University of New Haven.
First of the day, makes it a 9-4 game. She had quite the season, 50 goals, 20 assists, 60 draw controls. She scores there and adds to that lead. 9-4 now, the North is on top.
So, originally I would say, obviously South needs to get their draw, but they also need to be better with their shot placement because Ochs has been such a powerhouse for the North.
And now, the MVP of our first game was Steph Lazo. I would think that Ochs is the leader in the clubhouse to be MVP here in game number 2. But a long way to go as we approach the midway point of the second half. 16:46 to play. North pulling away now, leading 9-4 as they go back to the draw control. And off the whistle to belong to the South. And the South just has to get something. Tatum, a lot of times in lacrosse, you hear the cliche that it just takes one thing going right for you. That you just need something to go your way, and then it kind of snowballs from there.
It's definitely a domino effect, and I think it's
and there you go. Something goes right.
Yeah, that may be the start of it.
It just takes one thing to go right for you, like a goal with 16 minutes to play, to try to get you going.
And I also believe in little things make the big things happen. So the little things like the ground balls, like the 50-50. But if you rewatch this, a great feed in the middle, a great catch by number 18, Rachel Engler, and a shot high. Great shot.
That's just tremendous. Engler from Lockhaven delivers her first of the day to make it 9-5. 15.5 to play. So there you go. You get something positive, something to build a little momentum. Now you got to take it from there, right?
And a 4-goal lead by the North isn't something that would worry the South right now. They have 15 minutes left, and they can make it happen.
Oh, had an opportunity for a draw control win there. They get it anyway. Didn't come up with the first opportunity to get the second. So there you go. Building off the goal, trying to create more positive momentum, and then throwing the ball away. So the momentum only lasts as long as you allow it to last.
Yeah, but if they can, I've been seeing a lot of redefending, so the attacker is fighting all the way through the restraining line. So if we see that and they can get the ball back, then we'll be good. We'll have a game going.
Right. Keep this interesting down to the final seconds. Kara Douglas working alongside the near sideline, moves back towards the middle of the field. North on top, 9-5. Here's where beyond the midway point of the second half, Glenn Clark alongside former Penn State All-American Tatum Coffey. Played in the IWLCA All-Star game when she was a senior.
2 years ago.
Now back here. So technically it's your second All-Star game. Most players don't get to be involved in more than one All-Star game.
That's true.
Right?
I'm setting records right now.
As we are with you here on IWLCA TV from Tierney Field at U.S. Lacrosse headquarters. Long shot fired in high. And first, nobody was there to back it up, but blue shirts get there, so it stays with the North. As that was Gravlin who was trying to add on to what has already been an excellent day. She's got the hat trick with 3 goals.
Again, the running clock is an adjustment for each team. Time is flying right now.
Yeah, right. Flips it to Jahelka in the middle of the field. Jahelka will send it back behind to X. Now trying to wrap around. Good defense to prevent any easy opportunity. The ball knocked down in the middle of the field, but the North will keep it.
What a great play by number 1, Carrie McCauley.
And right along the restraining line, picking that up was Kara Douglas.
Mulcahy. Sorry, that was my fault.
Yeah, it's a mouthful.
Yeah, but that was great. That was great effort. You know, she knows that they're down and she needs to start making plays, and that was a great attempt by her.
Imagine being given these names the spelling bee this week. Turn around to goal line extended. Mulcahy. Can you use it in a sentence, please?
Adjective.
13 minutes to go here in the second half. 9-5, North on top in this Division II IWLCA All-Star game. Inside. Oh, how did that sneak through? There was not a lot of space for C-Tech to work with, but somehow she was able to take advantage of it anyway.
I think the defense there even got a little bit of her stick, but she just snuck the ball right in.
Kendall C-Tech, her first of the day from New Haven, the All-American. There's 2 defenders right on top of her. I think you're absolutely right about that. And it actually went off of the goalie, yeah.
And so it tipped stick off the face mask, and she's able to sneak it in to give North that 5-goal lead with about 12 minutes left to go.
Well, that's a pretty good explanation of how did that sneak through.
Yeah.
It
explains it right there with the replay.
So 12:15 to play here in the second half, and it's now a 10-5 game. The North doubling up the South. And we go back to the draw control. And so whatever momentum the South got from that goal and then winning the ensuing draw control, that's gone now. They got to create more for themselves at this point. It's under 12 minutes to go. And just a reminder that, you know, we talked about this at the start of our broadcast today in the D1 All-Star game. We're talking about players who are largely playing the final game of organized lacrosse in their career. So while, yeah, you're competitive and you want to win, this is more than just being about wins and losses. This is really about getting out there and enjoying yourself today.
Exactly, and I think what we saw in the D1 game, a lot of players are going to play in the Pro League. They're going to be coaches, and, you know, you definitely find that a lot of these players are going to be in the real world, which is not bad. This is great, and they can still coach on the side or whatever they want to do. But we see a lot of great effort out here today. It's really fun to watch.
That one won back to the North. I believe it was a Paramore who said, "Ain't it fun living in the real world?" I remember correctly.
I agree.
It was the great Haley Williams, the poet, came up with that line. 11 minutes to play in the second half as the North gets it back. Leading 10-5. Low shot. Good save by Sydney Teeter, who comes up with that one. As Chikowski tried to beat her low, maybe even between the legs, but Teeter protected it. The North is going to get the ball back. However, just seconds later, it's taken back by Connor Bird from a LIU post. She gets it ahead to Jakowski.
I think what I'd like to see from the South is more urgency, exactly like that. Picking up the ground ball, they need to get the ball, and they need to get down on offense.
Need to get it cleared, need to go to work, trailing 10-5. They just haven't been able to do anything offensively in the second half. Just the one goal here in the second half.
Yeah, and Ochs is a big part of that. She's been making great saves and been like an extra defender out there.
Sure.
So as long as they get the ball, they're patient at first, and then they attack. They might even push the fast break right now, though.
Perhaps an opportunity. Defenders collapse somehow through all of that. Ball back on the turf. Ochs trying to find it. She can't. And still digging in, and somehow coming away with that ball is Randy Kastner from Tiffin. 3-time all-conference selection, comes up with the ground ball there.
And that call will be for the South team. That was a great double. They didn't rush it and pushed her out of bounds. She walked out of bounds, and now the White.
So they get it back with 9.5 to play, but they try to give it away just as quickly. Somehow that one does not go over the sideline, but it's picked up and taken the other way.
And having played in this game in June previously, the sun is hot.
Yeah.
And it is tiring, but with 9 minutes of play and you're down 5, the South needs to get it on offense.
And that was Riley Weber who came up with that ground ball. She's the All-American and National Defensive Player of the Year, as well as the national champion, and going out with one more exclamation point at the end of her career.
Yeah, not only did Adelphi win their 8th national championship, they also won their 4th consecutive NE10 championship.
So you're saying they know a thing or two about winning?
They know a thing or two about lacrosse.
Yeah, Riley Weber and Jacqueline Jahelka today were like, yeah, guys, we don't lose, so we're going to come in here and win this.
Yes, exactly.
8.5 to play. South gets it back. Opportunity to go in transition. Now from behind, Lauren Green trying to push it forward.
Wide open in the middle. Oh, shooting space call.
Violation before the shot.
So shooting space call is if a defender is in your view of your shot. That's only in women's lacrosse. That's not in men's.
It's a player safety thing.
It is a player safety thing. We're not wearing helmets, so let's see if she can finish.
Stepping in. Oh, what a save by Ochs. Another one.
I am seeing a lot on the 8-meter, these far-out shots. I would like to see 1 or 2 more steps.
Right. You have the space.
You have the space. You have a free shot. Take advantage of it. But back to the other end now. So,
Tatum, did you ever have a situation where you had a violation called and you would have had a goal?
Yes. So when you have a violation called and you scored already and they blow the whistle as the ball.
It's the most frustrating thing,
It's
right?
so frustrating. The ball's right out of your stick, goes in the back of the net. Then they recall it, but you can't be mad because you got to go make it again. You can't fight the refs. They made a call.
So your job to go score in the free position.
Exactly.
Free position, you got a great opportunity to go score again, obviously. 7.5 to play as North gets it back, leading 10-5. And there, doing her best Ochs impression, was Sydney Teeter, who stepped out to try to intercept that one. However, off the whistle, it looks like it will go back to the North. And it'll be a free position, but from an impossible angle, so this will just be kind of a play on, 0 angle here. And that was just a restart. Sorry, that wasn't a free position opportunity. 7 minutes to play in the second half. And as the North, as we talked about at the beginning of the first game when the North was also on top in the D1 All-Star game, typically if you're leading by 5 in the closing minutes of the game, you try to start to milk the clock, but this is an All-Star game. This is the last opportunity you have to play organized lacrosse. You don't want to do it standing around.
Exactly.
North trying to add to their advantage.
About 6 minutes and 30 seconds to go. North 10, South 5. North with the ball. I would think South at this point would pressure out a little bit more on defense.
Maybe
to try
send a second defender?
Yes, maybe send that double.
Try to force the issue a little bit. Let's see. That one in the middle of the field picked up, taken the other way. So the South, there's still technically time. Oh, unable to hold on to the ball. And battle continues. Finally, it comes away to the South. Great effort, not just to get that ground ball, but to hold on through it, or to it through traffic by Erin Abbott. Now she pushes it ahead. There's still 6 minutes to go. If you can score quickly, you can try to make it interesting here in the closing seconds. Got to connect on your passes, however.
Need to hold on to the ball.
Yeah, that's been an issue today, and certainly in the second half for the South team. Lobbed in front, intercepted. What else? Lauren Ochs. Those things don't show up in statistics, right? Like, you don't get a save for that, but they got to come up with some. I guess technically it's a caused turnover. So,
yeah, it is.
You do get
turnovers.
You do get a stat for that, but those aren't the stats typically you see referenced with goalies. That's great. That ball will be knocked out, and Teeter will pick it up the other way. 5:15 to play. South gets it back. Still just one second-half goal for the South side. Here we go now, coming to the South side. I'm assuming you don't remember that classic hit from Moby and Gwen Stefani years upon years ago.
What?
South side?
I don't know if I do.
I think you were probably about 10.
Was I?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Possession.
All right, yeah, the South has the ball. Let's see what they can do with it with about 4 minutes and 40 seconds to go.
Just trying to do something here. They just have not been able to get any offense in the second half. And Ochs really has been the story of the day.
Oh, my goodness. And she just proved it right there. What a great – her cat-like reactions are incredible.
Lauren Ochs taking every advantage of being the opportunity. I think the only goalie today that's going to get to play all 60 minutes of a game.
And taking advantage of it for sure.
She's really playing all 60 minutes of this game.
A replay here. You have the shot. She leans.
Look at that.
That lunge is incredible.
Wasn't able to catch it cleanly, but quickly got back up on her giddy-up to make sure she protected that ball and didn't allow for a rebound opportunity.
So looking at Bentley's record this year, which Ochs plays for, their overall record was 8-9. So that I was looking to see them shut out.
Imagine how much worse it would have been, right?
Yeah, no, she. It's crazy to see. So.
And also for Ochs too, you got to imagine, and this is why you know she's a special player. Because there's only a couple of Bentley players here, right?
Yes. And also, but looking, they had about 3 overtime wins and a loss, So they definitely close games.
Right.
So it's sad that she's a senior and won't be there next year.
In transition the other way. That one will be knocked out of the stick. Caitlin O'Brien, who scored a goal here in the second half.
So North won the D1 All-Star game.
Yeah, the North's going to make it 2 for 2,
I think
right?
they're going to make it 2 for 2 with about 3 minutes to go.
O'Brien, great save by Teeters. O'Brien just took like one step before firing that one. Tried to rifle it in, but Teeter protects. Under 3 minutes to play and getting it right back as North unsettled. 3-on-1, going right around the defender and scoring to make it an 11-5 game. Excellent individual effort by Vicky Gravlin, her 4th of the day. So she's trying to get into the MVP conversation, Tatum. She doesn't want to just give it to Lauren Ochs.
So she has
4 now today for Vicky Gravlin. This is going to be a tough call.
It will be a tough call.
I don't think they give us votes, but if they did.
Who would you pick?
Oh, well, I was going to do that to you. Why would you step in front of me like that?
I honestly would pick. It is tough because scoring, but I think Lauren Ochs and I
think the way she's impacted the game defensively, not just making saves.
Yes, but
the way that she's impacted what they're able to do, I think that she would be my vote.
Yeah,
for
defensively,
MVP.
She's definitely the anchor on this ship of the North team. But Gravlin is having a great game with the amount of goals she's scoring and everything.
No question.
She's playing great.
She's been very impressive with the ball on her stick.
With Gravlin, she had 57 goals this year, 26 assists, 83 points. A total of, that's for her total career throughout.
Yeah, she had 46 and 20 this year, right?
Yeah, so her total was 57 goals, 26 assists, and a total of 133 caused turnovers, and get this, 182 draw controls.
That's amazing. Free position opportunity, shot deflected. It stays with the South, however. Minute 20 to play. So we wind down to the conclusion of this D2 All-Star game. We still have the D3 All-Star game to go today. We got one more to bring you here on IWLCA TV. A few more players that will play the final game of their collegiate careers. And maybe for the South, just an opportunity to avoid getting shut out today. Some pride for that part of the country. The game is moving further south, obviously. We're seeing more schools in Florida, places like that.
Which is great to see.
College lacrosse.
Yep.
Obviously, on the women's side at the D1 level, the University of Florida has been a power in the last few years. The men's side, Jacksonville, has been a pretty good program in their infancy. Of course, Mercer down in Georgia. That pass, not on target. It goes out. That's a turnover. And so with under 30 seconds to play, the North team will get it back. Doesn't look like they're in a rush to try to get one more shot. Looks like they would be content to enjoy an 11-5 victory here in the D2 All-Star game at Tierney Field at U.S. Lacrosse.
Ochs with her final clear.
Ochs, tremendous. Waiting to see if we get official word on
Get
MVP.
one more goal in.
That'll be how that comes to a close. Your final score, the North 11, the South 5. And so for as many times and as many games, the North is victorious here at Tierney Field. Glenn Clark, Tatum Coffee with you as we wrap this one up. Tatum, 2 stories today. Vicky Gravlin offensively, and then Lauren Ochs defensively, just absolutely dominant for this North side.
Yeah, I think Vicky Gravlin definitely did a great job under, with 4 goals. And under a coach that she played for, at college,
Right.
Lemoyne, Kathy Taylor. And then Ochs on the other side, we've seen her, in this game alone, making great saves, just taking risks. And
Yep.
I think that's what these 2 players did here today.
2 goals as well today for Jacqueline Jahelka and Hannah Lindgren in the victory. 1 multi-goal scorer for the South. It was Kendall Kurge who had 2 in the loss. So 2 games in the books, 1 more to go. When we come back, we'll have the Division III All-Star game for you. You're watching IWLCA TV.